Good morning, and good morning to each and every one of you on blessed Wednesday. Just this beautiful, beautiful day. I will tell you, today is probably the heaviest haze Sahara dust day that I have seen for the year for sure. Coming over here in the St. George area, when you looked up through the valley up into the St. John section, it was just all hazy. You could hardly see anything. We can't really see the north of the island from here because of where we are. But you can see how everything just goes into haze and the very just over there by Chalky Mount. Actually, we're not even at Chalky Mount. We're on the other side and it's all hazy already. So you can see how heavy it is this morning. Beautiful, beautiful east coast of Barbados, area of Cattlewash. We are presently in the St. Joseph section. I'll show you where the landmark is in a few minutes time. But we're in St. Joseph section and we're going to go into the St. Andrew area of Cattlewash itself. But it's a beautiful spot. As you can see, the sun is beginning to try and peep out, but lots of heavy clouds, and I put a lot of them as being dust clouds. However, I still do have my shield with me just to be on the safe side. Don't want to have to stop the vlog because of a little bit of rain, so we saw how that goes. Now today we'll be walking from the southeast side to the northwest side, so I think that's about the right thing. I don't have my compass with me today, but that's approximate. So the wind will be in our back, and therefore we will probably take a lot of wind in the microphone, but I want to continue in that direction because the most beautiful way of viewing Cattlewash is definitely walking from the Barbados side towards the lake side. So we're going to be taking on this morning. Lovely spot here to start our serenity prayer. So let's go with that, please. Join me in this prayer for peace. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Your will, not ours, be done. Amen. Just a beautiful, beautiful morning. Now it looks as though that's rain coming across there. That's just haze. That's just how it is right now. I don't know if we will get rain later on, but we will certainly be taking in the daybreak as we always do together. Yes, I did a lot of signal checks around the coastline of Barbados, all over the Barbados area, all down the north of the island. A lot of very, very weak signals. So I guess Flow have not got their situation sorted out yet. So we're going to have to try and like hop, skip and jump around areas that do have a good signal. Don't want to bring any etchy pixely vlogs. That's really not the intention. The intention is to share the beauty and also share the inspiration and peace that this island creates. Now I'm halfway up onto one of the very scenic driving spots on the island. Just on that ridge just above us is where you can drive right up to. You have to have a 4x4 for sure, and something that's definitely sturdy, and if it's wet, well, you're taking a chance either which way because it gets very, very tricky out in this section. As you all know, this is mud, clay and silt, so that's how it is. Very tacky and very sticky conditions. We're going to take a walk down. I thought this morning, rather than just starting the beach, we can start from an elevation so we can see what the east coast looks like and see what the surrounding areas are like as well. Now you can see these are the cart tracks that go up here. I know some of you in cars will say, I can make that, but trust me, the incline gets very steep and it gets very, very slippery out here. As you can see, there are some mud patches in the area. Down at the bottom, you will see how it is as well. Now I have on my beach shoes, but my beach shoes today are sufficing as 4x4s as well. The intention was just to stay on the beach. However, I decided I was going to hit the hills, and thank goodness I didn't come out barefoot. I parked down at Barclays Park and walked up here. Time was limited, so I actually had to hustle. More like a power walk then. But it was beautiful this morning. Absolutely lovely. And obviously, the fastest way here was on the road and not on the beach. You know, beaches, you all know, walking in sand can be quite strenuous and definitely will slow you down. So I decided to take the fastest route possible, and that would be up the highway. Beautiful, beautiful Barbados. I'm going to keep spanning this whole area here with you this morning for you to see as we are descending the hill. I didn't take any pictures yet this morning. Just one in the valley. So hazy it was that I didn't worry with that too much. But look at what is coming out. Look at the rays that are beginning to come around that cloud. Look at the borders, the golden borders and trims all around that cloud as well, over to the right hand side. Just beautiful. Now as you can see, this is the areas I just want to warn you about. These are why I tell you, you have to have a beast of a 4x4. These ravines are being cut right out with the bigger ones. So you have to be very careful not to slide off these areas. So I wouldn't risk driving. I would mention to maybe park at the bottom and walk up this track because it is very, very steep and it can be very dangerous. And if you slip into one of these ravines, well, I don't know what kind of damage you could do to the vehicle, but you certainly will have to get pulled out. Just so beautiful. I'm so happy that I came up onto this hill, onto this rise here for you to have a look as we are descending. So you've actually had a view, not only just a beach view, but you can have the elevated, beautiful view of that east coast. We didn't see all of it, obviously, because I would have had to go right up. And if I had done that, we would have spent so much time coming down that, you know, we would have lost a lot of beach time. And I really want to concentrate on the beach today and walk along where we stopped last time from. This is the part 3 of Cattlewash. We were waiting until the sargassum had left to continue. However, there is a little bit there, but not much. It is definitely worth the walk today for sure. Now, all of these areas here that you're seeing, trees and stuff, like this one in front of us especially, around a bank holiday time, around weekends, you will find cars, or used to. Things have changed somewhat, as you would know. But you would find a lot of cars and people coming here and parking and just picnicking under these trees. That was a real pastime before for Bajans. Haven't seen as much of it recently, but that's obviously because of the situations with COVID and stuff. Now, where you see that person walking with that dog just down there, you'll see over on the right hand side, there's a whiteboard up. That is the border mark between St. Joseph and St. Andrew. So as you see, we were in St. Joseph and we're going to walk into St. Andrew, but we can do it by the beach. So I want to point out where that was for you. The division lines here are not always clear, but this is well marked. It's a beautiful, beautiful section of Barbados. Again, we're going to be dealing with the rough, rustic areas. Unlike yesterday, we walked all over the cliffs. Today, we're going to do it on sand, but we're still going to see very similar situations. Not as much growth and stuff as we would have seen yesterday. We saw, you know, like jungle out there as well as just beautiful landscape. I'm going to take not the trap there, because that's looking a little bit slippery in that section. As I said, I don't have on my 4x4s today, but I do have on my dependable big shoes. Look at Cattlewash, folks. The last time we were here, we stopped up by that final house there on the cliff that you can see over on your right hand side. That's where we concluded last time. So we're going to walk a little bit in that direction, and then we're going to turn around and walk towards Bartley's Park. Now, at the moment, the wind is in the back of your microphone, so I'm hoping you're not getting too much blow right now, but when I turn, you will most definitely get it. So just be prepared for that this morning. It's beyond my control, but it's the only way I can bring you this part of the island. And right now, we're not having any kind of heavy gusts and stuff that they are expecting later on today. And in this week, we do have a quieter day. Around Thursday, I think it is, it starts to calm off a little bit with the wind. But there's a big swell that's running. Don't know if it's lapping to the north of the island or not, but there definitely is a solid swell that's running. And the angle of it definitely has a little bit of north on it, as you all can see. Anyone that's on here that's familiar with the surf and stuff. Now, the tide is relatively low. This is more on the low side going into mid-tide now. But as you can see, with the size of these swells and stuff, you can't even see the coral because of the amount of surge that's out here. This is what we continuously warn you about when you're coming to the east coast, that you may see a pool that looks comfortable to be in, and then all of a sudden a swell will come through and it can pull you straight over that. If you get beyond this outer breakers here, you're in some serious problems. I mean, real serious problems. So you don't really want to go in and see at all. And if you do go in it, please go into the areas like the sandbank when it's calm. Not today. Today is certainly not a day for the east coast. But if it's calm, like a lake and stuff, well, there are a couple of areas that are safer, but not safe, but safer to swim. As I said, we stopped last time just by that house, and that was the Barbados pool that we were in, that we took our dip in. No way you could go in that today. Low, high tide, no matter when. Too much surge coming over the reef for sure. Big east and northeast swell that's coming in. Second secret 360, all that. But look at this beautiful sun that's coming out behind here. Is that not just lovely? Because of the filtration, we can actually look straight at it. You can see all the rays are coming off all over, just rays all over. Promises of a new day, a glorious, glorious day in this island for sure. Now, it may be hazy, it may be overcast, it may be dusty, but it is stunning, absolutely stunning. To all 66 of you on board, 67, 68 and building, good morning to you all. Love you all and welcome to the EMC gathering. For those that are new here, this hopefully will be a treasured experience for you. For those that are here returning again, thank you so much for your company, companionship, friendship, love and kindness. Alright, we're going to be working our way, as I said, northerly in a second. I will be flashing back towards the sun as it starts to make some more changes. But we're making our way towards Barclays Park. That will be our end off section today. Now this is our part 3 of Cattlewash. We did originally a Cattlewash which came from Joe's River that went down as high as the big rock itself on the beach. And then we did a section from there down to the home that we saw just now. We do Barclays Park now. So we are covering the whole coastline, but we're going to do little waves and stuff. You'll see all of the homes in the ridges, all those lovely homes. You know, it's really lovely up there. I met a lady up there called Gran. You all would know what Gran's Lookout. That is directly up there in the center of the camera. Just lovely up there. Beautiful. As I said, I'm not sure how much the audio you'll be hearing from me today because of the amount of wind that's coming with it. But hopefully I'll be able to project my voice. You see how that goes. You know what I mean? I like to be heard. I don't just like talking to myself, although I do that quite often. But all of a sudden now I have a companion that listens to me. I don't listen to him at all, but he listens to me for sure. Beautiful sunrise. Let's watch that for a couple of seconds. Listen to the sounds, experience the winds, feel the peace, feel the serenity, and feel Bajan. Bajan warmth. There we go. Just gorgeous. Once again today we don't have any hotels or any nightclubs or anything to talk about, so you know me, I am going to run my mouth with everything I can possibly think of. I remember when I was a young fella on this coast, I used to come down here with some of my friends and we used to camp in the hill just from where we were just now. The actual flat plateau that's about 3/4 way up there that you can see where it starts to level off is where we actually set up our camping area. And this is where we stayed for a couple of weeks on end. I also have another friend that used to go there all the time. Mario Williams, if you're on this morning, good morning to you, sir. I do remember the days of you camping up there with your caravan and stuff. Very popular area. Cattlewash at one time used to have people picnicking and camping through all of the long weekends. If you had a long weekend and you came down here under any of this tree area and stuff over on our left, you would find tents set up. You would find families had full setup, full camping site set up and stuff. That is something that I have not seen happen for a very long time here. I don't know if it's just because we got so accustomed to the luxuries in life that we don't want to leave our televisions and our homes and stuff, but that's something that used to happen. You know, when I was a teenager and into my early 20s, all these areas here would have been occupied with little camps. Just beautiful. That would mainly be on a long weekend, or if it was summertime, you would have had that happen as well. I'm walking forward, but I'm going to be panning around me, so hopefully I'll be able to take in some of the scenery and stuff as I walk and talk. Not high tide, you won't see any of these rocks at all, especially today, or you will just see one or two of the very high, and much higher ones, but majority of these will be undercover. And a lot of the year as well, a lot of these will be under sand as well, especially close in the ones here. You won't see any of these here at all. These will all be covered by the sand. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now I do remember when this beach was way, way bigger than this. I mean, there was this much sand here was between that grass and where we are kind of. This entire area was leveled. You can see how much erosion has gone on over here recently. We've had large swells, so this is not the norm. The sand is being shifted because we've had a lot of east swells and north swells this year, northeast swells and stuff off the systems that have passed us and then sent back the swell in this direction. And they have moved a lot of the sand. However, the sand will come back in, I'm sure. I know that, well, depends on the cold fronts that come in. Because if they have a lot of cold fronts that are coming on in November or December, well, the sand will most definitely be shifting again for sure. Just beautiful. Check out egret here, just enjoying itself on the beach this morning. Lovely, lovely morning. Don't know how close we'll get to him, but yeah, there he goes. It's lovely to watch. Alright, as you all know, today when you see a brilliant sun coming up like this, don't mind it is completely hazed and red. You can see that there's a lot of haze because we won't be able to look directly in the sun like that if it was a clear morning. But you can see it's all red, very red, and that's the African dust and haze. And that's probably what dried out that system yesterday that we saw in our general area. We had no rain yesterday at all, not where I live anyhow. I don't know what other sections of the island, but from early morning, like around 3 or 4, we had no rain right through for the entire day. 24 hours of just lovely warmth here in the island and no rain whatsoever. Very popular beach for people who love a lot of walking, especially in summertime. You will get people are staying in all the homes along Cattlewash area. That is the most popular vacation time of the year for people to take time over here. A lot of people do staycations in Barbados and have stopped traveling as much as they used to, and that's not something that has now happened with COVID. It's something that's been happening a long time. These homes down here, you cannot, well, I can't say you cannot, but it'd be extremely difficult to find anywhere to stay on the East Coast in summer, like around July, August, September, because all of these homes will be booked years in advance. I have a cousin that used to have a home down here in a standing order for every August. You couldn't have gone that home in August at all. There was a standing order, and that's pretty much how it is down here anyhow. Although a lot of the homes may not actually be lived in at that time by the owners, who most of the time do come over here in summer, you will find these homes completely occupied. That is why mainly the park on the other side of the road at Cattlewash has become so popular, because it's offered a lot more buildings and stuff to offer accommodation. A lot of Airbnbs over on the other side of the road, but on the beachfront itself, extremely difficult. Now, as you said before, we have the sun, so you know when we have the sun, you know who's going to come out, who's going to parade. I don't know why he doesn't put his hand down. I'm going to have to talk to him again. There's no need to just wave like all the time, like a standing statue with a strange limboed arm. Anyhow, that's how he is, so we're going to have to take him on today. No escape from him this morning. So to all of you all that are fans of the Shadow Man or the 10-foot Shadow Man, he's out today, but with the haze, he is dim. He's not shining like me for sure. I haven't actually seen you all this morning yet, so good morning to you all. I want to say hi to you all and let you know that I love you, and I'm so happy to be here again this morning. I'm happy that God has blessed me with life, good health, and also not being challenged physically, that I'm able to come out here. Definitely mentally challenged, but that's how life is. We work on that every day, step by step, and we get through that bit by bit. But for the physical side of it and health-wise, God has blessed me. He's blessed me to be able to come out here and share this with you this morning. I remember one of the very, very popular picnic spots was here on the trees. You can actually drive down onto the beach behind these trees here. But that path, I would just went out there and checked the road and stuff. I haven't been down there for years. But the path is a little bit overgrown now, but you could easily have driven just up behind here by where the water ravine is, and you would find a lot of people hanging out up here. Now, not only on picnic days, but you will find some people that hang out in these bushes all day. So when you're on this coastline and you're spending any time around, I would say stay in the general areas of the homes unless you have a lot of people with you, or if you want to walk this area, it's fine. But again, I wouldn't walk right up on the bush area. I walk more down on the beach near to the sea. Just because, you know, as I said, it's not a crime-ridden island by any means, but as we all know, all over the world there are some people that have a different ideology to us and different beliefs and think that whatever anyone else has should be theirs. So with those things in mind, we just want to make sure that, you know, they'll sort of like alert you to the situation here. You can see the dense growth that's down here. In all of these areas you will find traps, not just traps from people who come down here to do anything that is out of the ordinary, but also because it is grape season, sea grape season. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I said that. Yeah, lots of these hills here, you'll find people walking around with their white 5-gallon pigtail buckets collecting all of their sea grapes and their fat ports and cashew nut fruit. And this is sea grape time right now. Thank goodness I don't eat that nonsense. So, you know, on we go. More filtration again. Definitely strong scent here from the ocean because of lots of sea spray. So we now have a mixture, as you can see up by Bashba, a mixture of sea spray along with the haze that's overhead. But you can see the difference, the elevation just off you see, maybe 20-30 feet off you see, you can see it, and then you can see it changes continuously as it goes up and starts to get thinner and thinner as well. Beautiful, beautiful morning. All right, this is a little teaser for you all now. I'm gonna do this breath for you all, and then I will breathe for the rest of the day for myself. So here we go. Any of you all that have been over here on the East Coast would know exactly what I was just experiencing. It is heavenly. There is a scent of peace in the air, and that's the only way I can say it. East Coast brings that with it. No matter what time of the year, no matter what the conditions are, if you come over here, it's very, very quiet, very peaceful, and just naturally beautiful. So you're taken in. Right now I am so blessed to be able to stand here in this wind this morning, in this sea spray, and viewing these incredible sceneries with you all. It is just amazing over here. The power of over here is incredible. I don't only mean the sea, I mean just the actual spirituality that I'm feeling right now. It is an amazing, amazing place. I tend to feel that all over the island, but there's some areas that you feel it all the time. A lot of places I have to go at 6 o'clock a.m. of course, to experience what I'm experiencing here that I could experience throughout the entire day. I will warn those that are not familiar with the East Coast, look at the color of the sand. This sand holds heat in it. When you see around 11, 12, 1, 2 o'clock, do not play. You're leaving your car, and because you're going to be walking the beach, walk down this section here, especially the dry sand. Don't walk down that there with barefoot, because you will lose the skin on your foot. And I'm not exaggerating, that is the truth. I've been across here, in the days when I had a hard foot, not the baby feet that I have now, I used to come across this sand, and sometimes you get in the middle of it and it is so hot and so intense you actually feel nauseous. It gets that hot. So please, if you're coming to the East Coast and you're talking about midday time into early afternoon, please wear some slippers, or bring some slippers or some big shoes. You do not want to walk on this dry sand with bare feet. You will most definitely get a horrible experience. Even if you don't lose your skin on your feet, you'll be so sore for days on end you won't even want to walk. Remember, what you come across, you have to return over. So if you make it to the water's edge and you're going back, well, you got to go through all that pain again. But if you do make it to the water's edge and you are barefoot, soak your feet well and then make a sprint across the sand, please. But remember, the sand is soft, and therefore you will go about ankle deep. So along the sides of your feet in steps will most definitely get sored. Beautiful, beautiful morning. I can't say that enough times. I had to say again, using my favorite word this morning, it is stunning out here. Natural beauty, God-given art all over the land area. You can look at its sculpturing, you can look at everything. It's so easy to understand how this island has lost some of the coastline. Like yesterday we were on the train line and we said, well, I know Mark had mentioned that he had seen some pictures and there was a lot more land. Yeah, that is how it is. The weaker matter gets eaten out over here on the coastline. You would have seen that by the rocks. They're just off the coast. So as Barbados was rising, majority of those rocks would have had soil and small rock and weaker matter around them. And over the years, as the sea has pounded them, as we come out of the ocean, we have lost the beachfront area. So that's probably what happened to the train line. Again, I'm only speculating based on a layman's opinion. I do that either on my experience or what I have seen happening that makes me make those comments. But if there are people out there that know better, please tell someone, because we're all eager to grow in knowledge and in wisdom. So it's nice if you can share anything with us that can help us through the journey that we're going on. Just lovely. All right, that's the Cambridge Ridge, and there are two lookouts up there. There's Grand's Lookout, which we mentioned before, is just over in the ridge that's directly in front of us, and then there's one just below as well where you see the new structure, the gabling that's been laid out there to protect that land. That is also another lookout as well. And you can also drive from the top of Cambridge down to East Coast Road if you have a beast again. Don't do it if you're not familiar with it. Leave that for the guys that are. It's not as often you see jeeps coming over here, but they had one jeep operation that used to come and descend from up top where you see that house right down through the roads there. But those roads have had a lot of slippage over the years, so I don't know if they're still doing it now. I'm going to give you all another 360, but I'm going to reverse it this time because I'm getting dizzy from doing it the other way. So here we go. I see a friend of mine on board that I need to mention here right now. Doesn't come on too often, but we may not be born of the same mother or father, but we must have had blood transfusions between each other when we were younger, because I call him my blood brother. Good morning, DJ Scotty. If any of you all that know of DJ Scotty, or if you don't know, let me tell you a little bit about this man. When COVID started on this island, he started a free broadcast that comes on Facebook every Friday, Saturday and Sunday, and he's continued with that every weekend. Friday night you will get all the old calypsos and stuff, all of that type of music. Saturday night oldie goldies, and then he does a meltdown on Sunday. Now he has the inside crew, which is his family, which is my family, which is our family. And when I say ours and my family, is because that has the same type of belief and living that we have, and that is that we just want happiness, we want to share love, we want to share positivity. So DJ Scotty, bless you my brother. I'm so happy to see you on board here this morning. Welcome, and I hope everyone will follow you this Friday night, Saturday night and Sunday, because what you have been doing over the years, my friend, is, I had to say, God-given. So bless you for that, for sure. Just a beautiful, beautiful coastline. As I mentioned, people, well, you know, I have to say, whether she's here or not, I have not seen anything pop up as yet. Good morning, my angel. I love you dearly. Looking forward to walking these beaches with you in the near future. Until then, we just continue on God's path. We do what God wishes, and if it's to be, it's to be. But I will always love you. And you know, that is my little bit of heart spilling for the morning. As you all know, I am a pretty passionate and romantic guy, so I have to share my love with my love of my life. And you know, back on to you all, myself, and the EMC. Check the glare that's coming up now, folks, on the beach and stuff. Perfect place for us to stop again and have a little look. Beautiful. Now, you all have not seen the beauty of Cattlewash yet. If you all think you all have seen the beauty, those of you that are on here that know this place will know we have something spectacular coming in a couple of seconds, or not seconds, I would say in about another 10 minutes. It will start to be seen soon, but it will take about 10 minutes for us to get to the location of where I really want to show you it. So this is an area here that doesn't have coral immediately on the water's edge. So some people, I know, I have swam here before, but I would not, well, not swam, cooled off, because I don't fool around out here. I'm pretty knowledgeable on the East Coast, not as knowledgeable as some, but I do have a degree of it, because I've surfed here for over 30 years, I'd say closer to 40 years, and I know that you don't mess around with this ocean. There are some summer days you come out here that you would think there is a lake. There's not even a ripple on the water. It's that calm. The winds come off the south, things just flatten completely out, and it looks like a west coast actually. That doesn't happen too often, but it's those kind of days that you can go in maybe about waist deep, but I wouldn't venture any deeper than that because the risk factor is just too great. We came on this, or I should say I came down here a few months back, and I had been postponing the East Coast continuously because of the sargassum. It was okay up on the first section up by Joe's River a few weeks ago, and we saw the crabs and stuff up there, and when we did our little walk up there, it wasn't too bad. But this section had all the dried, decaying sargassum on it. You couldn't even see the sand here. I don't know if you remember when we were up on the Cambridge Ridge at Grand's Lookout a few weeks back, and we looked down, all you could see was sargassum, no sand whatsoever. But as you can see, it cleanses itself, and so long as there's no new floats coming in, out here is going to be pristine very soon. Now when I say pristine, pristine for the East Coast, not like the West Coast, because you will always have some form of litter on the beach, some form of sargassum weed on the beach, some form of moss, shells, rocks, it is, and driftwood. Obviously driftwood, tons of driftwood. I've showed you all where our Christmas tree shop is, and that's down by Long Pond. We talked about that last time in that vlog as well. So if you want to know where the Christmas tree shop is in Barbados, please put in Long Pond in our YouTube channel, and you will find it there. Years ago, that structure that you're seeing there now was a little small shop, a little restaurant I should say. It was an East Coast restaurant. Unfortunately that structure burnt many years ago, and then the government has actually rebuilt that. It is a lovely restaurant down in that area, really beautiful. So as you can see, the denseness of all these sea grapes and everything else around here just is consistent. So, you know, just be wary when you're walking here. If you're a new girl walking, just do so closer to the water. Or you, your girl, your friend, your companion, your loved one, whoever, just walk closer to the water. If you have more people and stuff, you want to come and lay out here, that's fine. Or if there are a lot of people, because you can find a lot of people down here on occasions as well, that's also fine. But you will find many days like this here, even in the middle of the day or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, around that time, you'll find it very quiet, just like this here. So you don't want to be messing around too close to bush areas. You certainly don't want to pull your towels out here, because this sound and this sea spray and this feeling out here will put you to sleep in the blink of an eye. We call that sand gravity. That's where you lie down and it takes over. Your entire surrounding takes over. So you don't want to be doing that down here. If you want to do that, please do that up in the area in front of the homes and stuff. I am not trying to frighten anyone. I am being realistic. And as I told you all before, I cannot carry you to places of absolute beauty and don't tell you anything that I have concerns over. The way I talk is the way I live. I would not come here with my angel and lie down on this beach here, anything. I would certainly walk it. I would come and take pictures. I would walk the entire beach right down to lakes, right down into Morgan Lewis. But I would do so right on the water's edge. And again, Morgan Lewis is even further out, so I wouldn't even do that with just her and myself alone. But I would certainly do any of this area here down as far as lakes and walk back up. That would not be a problem. But I would certainly stay on the coastline right where I am walking right now. And I'm not walking there because of any fears or anything. Just as up there is a lot of soft sand, and I'm trying just to stay in the harder sand, trying to get a little more coverage than if you were up there wading through that area. Now this is not construction of a building that's going up. I don't know if anything else is in the plans. But what you're seeing up there is a massive amount of gabling, because that entire ridge area is suffering with slippage. You can see it. You can see the naked clay and silt and mud that's up there just below some of those homes. That whole area would have slipped over a period of time, because if not, you would see grass grows and everything out here except the area that slips. Just to give you a little feel of where we are, this is the back section here, Barclays Park itself. The hills that you're seeing between here, right up the gable, were all of the staging areas for people that came to watch crop over party monarch competition. Party monarch competition was staged. The actual stage itself was by where you see the cell tower on that flat section there, and then all of these hills here had people with shop. They had some little bars set up, people with coolers, people with tents. Everything was set up for the day, so it was really beautiful elevation and perfect to watch the party monarch. The only thing is that was difficult was getting here, because you can appreciate in the East Coast the road is quite small, as in comparison to thousands of people using it driving. So what would have happened is they would have stopped all vehicles and give you private passes if you lived in this area or if you were an official, and you could drive down into Cattlewash. Otherwise that you would have to take shuttles from the Grantley Adams Memorial School and from Belle Plaine and from other areas who would offer bus service. And at the end of the event, well, nobody wanted to wait, so everybody was walking from here to where the shuttle points were rather than wait on the buses. So this entire highway turned into like an ocean of people. And when I tell you people, I mean thousands of people, not hundreds, thousands and thousands of people. You wouldn't have seen any of the surface up there, because you would have had tents, towels, umbrellas, everything all over these hills here. Just a magnificent backdrop with this ocean and stuff to view. And I remember those days, I attended quite a few of them. I also vaguely remember coming to one of our Boxing Day parties here. At one time there were some guys that I know very well that had Boxing Day parties, and we moved to different locations all over the island. It still is ongoing now, but it's not the same group, not the same organizers. We had one at the North Point Beach Resort, we had a lot in Concept Bay, we've had them all over the island. But this one was one that I vaguely remember. Those are one of those memories that I really don't want to have in mind right now. rough session. If you know Bajans, we like our drinks, or a majority of us like our drinks. So when we come to parties like this, especially a full day party, which starts, well, people get in place out here early. You know, anytime you're having functions in these areas, you will find people here from 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning, and they go on to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in the night. So that's the normal thing. Hey, hello my friend. Say hello to everyone. Greetings to you all. Wait, give you all the Queen's wave this morning. He is so pompous, huh? Anyhow, don't mind him. You all mind me. Ignore him for now. Beautiful, beautiful beach. As I said weeks ago, you would not have seen any of this sand whatsoever. This is what you would have seen. Imagine What you're seeing there spread along this entire beach, not being able to see any sand at all. Not an exaggeration, honestly. The only place you would have seen sand was really high tide was coming up and washing away the moss or the seaweed from. It was terrible, terrible, terrible. I know one of my friends on here, Chris, he's a fisherman that would be fishing all of this coastline if he was here in Barbados now. A lot of people have started doing that in Barbados as well. It's been popular all along, but I found more and more people are doing that now because, you know, we're forced to sort of like slow down. Some of us have lost our jobs and some people are looking for activities to keep them busy, but peaceful activities, not something that will hyper you up that you want to go and party after, because there is no party to attend. But just look at how beautiful this beach is. Fresh sand. Only footprints right now are myself and the jogger that went up here. Both of them are in land a little bit, so you can see a beach that looks as though it's ready for your footprints. So if you like beach walking and you're in Barbados, come on down and enjoy some of this. A little windy this morning, so the gimbal is taking a few blows around and stuff, so if you see some erratic movements, you would know what it's all about. Yeah, so I'm not sure what the status is with this bar and restaurant right now. I really don't know if they're open or not, to be honest with you. Sorry that I didn't check on that before for you, but every time I've been here it's been relatively early. Last time I came here, that was say around 10 o'clock or so, was when I was our hycologist when we did Chalky Mount area, and it was not open then. So I don't know if it's actually open right now, but I do know that the food there, I have heard, because I've not eaten there, food there is supposed to be excellent, and I don't have to tell you about the scenery that you would enjoy when you're sitting there. It's not a roundhouse or an Atlantis setup, you know, they're up in Barbados, but it is something that's down here on this side and it's beautiful. Barclays Park, you know, it is massive area here. There's a lot of benches and stuff in the hills directly behind this structure as well. If you were coming down in here when there's a bank holiday, again, down with normal times or before normal times, you would not be able to pass here too well, because you would have had maybe 20, 30 buses, whether it be transport board, B buses, ZRs or BT buses, parked all in this general area, because you would have hundreds and hundreds of people who would come over here and spend the day. Very, very popular picnic spot on the east coast of the island. Now our vlog is going to be a little bit long this morning because I'm not stopping until I get around that corner, but don't mind, I'm sure you all are enjoying this beauty and this peace with me. I'm going to walk a little bit more and let you experience what it's like to be here and what it's like to hear what's going on. Big swells coming in right now, so you can enjoy this here. Surfers is a clear north on this here. You can see that very comfortably, so I imagine there would be a lap over to the north side, maybe the Maycox, Hull, Duppies area. So I guess I'll hear about that later on. I'm going to travel that direction myself later on just to have a look at it, maybe get a little surf. You'll see how that goes. But look at the size of out here. It's big today. I don't care how well you know this water, how good a surfer you are, how good a waterman you are. These are life-threatening conditions. You don't want to mess around out here, because this entire section, you see these waves are breaking. That's a coral ridge that's there. You'll find underwater caves that you'll get washed in or sucked into. You'll find ledges, you'll find cliffs, you'll find peaks, you'll find sharp, razor sharp coral. You definitely do not mess in this water whatsoever. Don't care how knowledgeable you are. There are certain sections that the guys will surf, and those are the safer areas. Notice the word safer, not safe, because surfing always carries a risk element, especially on the east coast of this island. You know, you have to be very wary. You'll see there are lots of facilities here. There are shower facilities, there are washroom facilities, changing room facilities, as I said before. A lovely restaurant, lots of tables and stuff over on the other side. I've come here quite a few times with my Angel with a cooler and just sat down in this breeze and seen no one for the entire day, believe it or not. And that was back in, well, 2019. That was around the COVID time as well too, when was the last time we were out here, just after they allowed us out of homes after our confinement to the home, which was obviously needed at that time. That house, you may not even see it. It looks so beautifully set. That house on the ridge here, you're seeing just over the blue sign, that is, or the blue and white sign, that is actually lived in. It is off the beaten track. You cannot drive to it. You actually have to climb to it. So you need to park your vehicle on the beach side, and then you need to make your way up to it. There's no road that goes to that. But I've been up there before, and the scenery up there and the feeling up there is a piece of heaven, without a doubt. All right, here we go, folks. I promise you the beautiful scenery. We've seen it, some beautiful scenery already, but this is what I really want to share with you this morning. This is where we start to see Chalky Mount come into focus. This, to me, is probably one of the most beautiful sections of Cattlewash area, or on this coastline. Now, we have hiked all over those hills. We've been up to the hole, I've been up to the hole, to the cross. I know the hikeologist and myself plan to go up there again in the future and do a live from up there, because the signal up there is amazing. But that is Chalky Mount. So when you're driving through Barbados and you see that sleeping giant with a big hump belly, who's representing a Bajan who eats too much, just like me. Well, I don't have that big hump. I got a fairly big hump, but not that big. So, you know, yeah, that is the Chalky Mount area. As you can see from here, there are numerous ridges and hills that make up what looks like one solid structure, like the man lying in his back. And that's just because of how they're all placed and stuff. Gives you that impression. That's his face section there with his nose, you can see clearly. And then, as I told you before, his Bajan belly. Likes a lot of sweet food, just like me. Likes a lot of sugar, just like me. Just a beautiful morning though. All right, we're gonna stop just over here by where this guy is, in that general area, because we pick up on our next section another time. We won't be doing this here in any hurry again, because I want to sort of like space it out. Don't want to give you too much of anything in a row. But as I said, we are limited a little bit on signal strength and stuff. Right now, I hope we're still getting a good signal. We should be getting a good signal because the tower is just behind us at Barclays Park. But I want you to have a clear view of these hills and stuff, so I'm going to walk a little bit further with you. See, we still have 59 people on board. Thank you for tolerating my talking. However, to see the beauty today, you gotta hear me, or you can mute me. You can just turn off your volume. That's not a problem. I don't mind. It's quite comfortable. But I do want to share this with you for sure. Just beautiful. There again, a better look at the house itself. You can see, can hardly even make out it's there. Just lovely. Now, we talked before about the pigtail buckets. I know it's not really a very big point of interest, but as I see it, what you're seeing, that white bucket is what we call our pigtail buckets. They bring these salted pigtails, and that's what they're usually sold to people in, especially restaurants and stuff. So we call them the pigtail bucket. But that is what everyone will use and recycle and continuously use until that breaks itself apart and disintegrates, because they're very, very popular here in the island. We've got a couple of them ourselves at home, but one of them is so old that it's dry rotted, so you can understand how old that is. That sounds something like me. Jeez. Woo. Yeah, I'm not dry rot yet, but I feel it pretty close to it. A little bit brittle on the brittle side now. Alright, so we're going to go a little bit further, folks. I said I was going to stop here by the rocks, but I want to take you just a little bit further, just to have a look up inside the valley area by the hills itself. Believe it or not, I know there are some of you that are motorcyclists on here, off-roaders. We have some mountain bike men and also some motocross men that ride up the tracks right up to those top hills. Now, where you're seeing up there, I'm talking about little tracks that may be like 4 feet wide, 3 feet wide. And those guys will go along them, along the ridges and stuff, along the edges, and right all through this mountain area as well. Hill area, it's not really a mountain. But that will tell you how popular this terrain is. It is just beautiful, natural Barbados, as beautiful as it gets. I would think this is the most scenic spot here. I took a picture of my Angel here, I think it was back in 2017. And at that time, it was my most popular picture because it was Not only because it had the most beautiful woman in the world as far as I'm concerned, but it also had the most beautiful scenery in the world as far as I'm concerned. Rough, powerful ocean. Sea spray, strong, real strong this morning. So once again, you see we're looking directly in the sun. Because of all the haze and stuff, it's completely filtered, so we can do that without blistering our eyes. Very, very dangerous water. So beautiful, but so dangerous. Alright, this is where we're going to stop, because we're going to do our 360 from here. As you all can see, I have my friend with me. He's going to be a part of this show today for sure. I've been trying to get rid of him, and I've been keeping the camera off of him, but he'll make his way in. I actually had a good time with him yesterday, because we were laughing our heads off at some of the comments and stuff. You know, I have to laugh along with him, because I realize now that he's becoming more popular than me, so he may be the star of the show soon. And I gotta make sure he's my bestest of friends. So, good buddy, one more time, say hello to everyone. Okay, there we go. This is where we're gonna stop today. This is where we're gonna say our farewells, and this is where we're gonna take in a beautiful 360 from this little elevation. Enjoy, people. Enjoy, breathe it in, take your memories, use them, and feel what you're seeing. Here we go. Thought I was sneaking that little extra spin for you just now, just in case there's some of you. I saw some people saying good morning just now. I know they're probably only got one eye open, so I want to give you a spin in both directions, so we won't be unfair. We will think of them as well, so that they can see it as clear as we can from both ways. Anyhow, as you all will see in the distance, we can hardly make out Pico Tenerife. That is going to the north of the island, and when we look over to the east of the island, it's almost impossible to see up at Raggy Point from here. We can't even see Concept Bay, the cliff. Well, you won't see Raggy Point from this elevation, but the furthest point you can see is Concept Bay. That's the cliff up there that goes round to College Savannah, and as you can see, you can hardly make it out. That's because of mainly because of the haze and the sea spray. The sun, you will see, is all smothered by haze, so it's just filtered right now. Okay, I heard something this morning on the way over here. Now, you all know I'm a Bob Marley person, because I believe Bob Marley speaks to me, or God speaks to me through Bob Marley. And one of the lines that he uses is, "He who ever diggeth a pit shall fall in it." So your thoughts today on the lines of that is, if you want to live the right life, you don't dig a pit. If you want to live a life that you know is not the correct way of living, you may not know it at the time, but study it, because your conscience will always say no, and you will then go and say yes. And if that happens, you're going to dig that pit and you're going to fall in it. We have an old saying, a lot of people know it as well. You sleep in the bed you make. So remember that. Remember today that whatever you do will have an impact on tomorrow. Now, we don't hold it in mind and we don't blame ourselves. We get over it because we know God is going to forgive us and we're going to forgive ourselves. But let us not start the day thinking of doing something that we know is not correct. Let us try and do the best that we can today and make sure that we live on level land and that we'll be able to smile. And tonight when we go to sleep, we hardly have to say anything or hardly have to ask God for forgiveness for anything. We will, because we're not perfect. And the only person is perfect is God. So all we can do is be the best that we possibly can be. So today, love your fellow man, love your neighbor. These are things we are asked to do. So if we can do that today, in whatever capacity it is, you're living on the right path. Have a wonderful time, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed the beauty with me today. As I told you before, I'm also known as the burst pipe man. Don't stop talking, running all the time. I'm out running like crazy. But that is how I am. You are here, you're seeing the beauty of Barbados through my eyes, and you're witnessing it with me as I am. Not as I am trying to make myself to be, as I genuinely am. This is me. I like to talk a lot. I like to share whatever I see. I like to tell people about how I live my life and how I'm striving to live my life. And you know why? Because I've lived through those rough times. I've lived through those times where I have not listened to God, where I completely ignored Him. And I don't regret it, because they're lessons for me. But I certainly would never do it again. Now I have the knowledge and the wisdom and the understanding of what He wants of me in life. You know, everyone, have a fantastic day. I'm going to leave you with this scenery for a few seconds so you can hear it around me, that you can enjoy this, you can breathe in the peace and put on your armor for the day. So go forward today, go into anything that you may need to go into. Don't go into a battle, walk away from it. Walking away is not a coward, walking away is a smart man. Have a great day.